Over the last few years, images have circulated on social media depicting people's astonishment at the discovery of insects in food grocery stores. In recent years, as environmental and food security issues have intensified, discussions around alternative proteins have surged. The notion of insect protein as a staple food source has moved from the fringes to mainstream debate. Recently, an individual claiming to be a member of Anonymous added fuel to the conversation. Recently on social media, they claimed that by 2025, governments in various countries will start actively pushing insect protein as a primary food source, driven by rising environmental concerns, meat scarcity, and the high cost of traditional protein sources. This shift, the hacker alleged, will create a stark socio-economic divide where meat protein will become a luxury affordable only to the wealthy, while the general population, particularly those with lower incomes, will be left with insect-based options as the most affordable protein choice. The alleged anonymous hacker statements were grounded in the economic and environmental realities that have been building over recent decades. Traditional meat production is resource-intensive, requiring significant amounts of land, water, and feed, which has placed immense strain on the planet's resources. Insect protein, which has not been well received for obvious reasons, has been touted for its efficiency and low environmental footprint and has emerged as a potential solution to these challenges. According to the hacker, the trajectory toward insect protein as a staple food item will be strongly influenced by governments and multinational corporations. The hacker's claims align with observable trends in food policy and industry practices. On a side note, common condiments and foods like canned corn, peanut butter, and curry powder frequently contain insect eggs and fragments, and that this is permitted by official standards. North Carolina State University's Department of Entomology asserts that it is infeasible to eliminate all insects from the food chain. Consequently, the United States Department of Agriculture imposes restrictions on the permissible quantity of insect eggs or insect fragments that food products may legally include for retail sale. Canned maize will often contain 2 insect eggs, and these are permitted per 100 grams. Peanut butter can contain 50 bug bits per 100 grams, and ketchup can contain 30 fruit fly eggs per 100 grams. Over the last decade, several companies have begun investing in insect farming technologies. And in some countries, insect-based products have already entered mainstream markets. Large agricultural corporations have backed insect protein startups, anticipating a future demand that could make insect farming a $1 billion industry. The hacker predicted that by 2025, these corporations will have consolidated control over insect protein production and distribution, mirroring the monopolistic structures already seen in traditional agriculture. Consequently, consumers will see an abundance of insect-based food products marketed as affordable, nutritious, and environmentally friendly, though potentially at the expense of access to traditional protein sources. One of the most controversial aspects of the hacker's statement was the claim that traditional meat will become a luxury reserved for the wealthy. The hacker alleged that with meat production increasingly regulated, taxed, and limited, prices will surge, making meat an item that only those with high incomes can afford regularly. They suggested that even common meat products like chicken and beef could become akin to luxury goods, with niche, high-quality cuts monopolized by those able to pay a premium. Meanwhile, low-income individuals and families will have limited access to traditional meat, as their financial reality will only afford them insect protein options. This projected scenario, according to the hacker, reflects a disturbing trend toward a tiered food system where socio-economic status dictates access to fundamental dietary choices. Critics of this potential shift point out that restricting affordable access to meat may lead to a range of public health issues. Traditional meat provides nutrients and dietary benefits that are not yet fully replicated by insect protein. While insects are a rich source of protein, essential vitamins, and minerals, there are concerns about whether they can provide a nutritionally complete diet in the long term, especially for children, elderly individuals, and people with specific dietary needs. The hacker argued that government policies would likely push the narrative that insect protein is not only a sustainable choice, but also equally or even more nutritious than traditional meat, glossing over any potential health implications. If the hacker's claims hold true, this scenario could lead to significant public backlash and social unrest. Food is not only a biological necessity, but also deeply tied to culture, tradition, and identity. The idea of being restricted to insect-based protein due to one's financial standing could be seen as an affront to dignity and choice. The hacker suggested that such policies would widen the gap between social classes, leading to resentment as wealthy individuals maintain access to meat, a symbol of luxury and status. This, they argued, could create social division, with the diet of the wealthy contrasting starkly with the diet of the working class and impoverished. The hacker also hinted at a potential psychological and cultural shift as people adjust to insect protein. The notion that the global food system could evolve to favor insect protein, creating a socio-economic divide in dietary options, raises complex ethical, cultural, and health-related questions. Interestingly, people have already noticed that some of these products have appeared in shops, and remarkably, this was not an error, but rather a component of a snack that is set to be globally launched with the intention of encouraging the majority of individuals to replace their meat consumption with the more cost-effective insects. The images were captured in Australia, where the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization has expressed aspirations for Australia to establish a significant presence in the lucrative $1 billion worldwide edible insect sector. The researchers responsible for the bug stated that Australia has a highly promising market for it and expressed their optimism that individuals will begin to transition to it. One researcher has stated that the edible insect sector is still regarded as a developing industry in this region, with a projected value of over $1 billion by 2023. That is to say, they anticipate that millions of Australians will consume insects within the next year, as they are now being promoted as more cost-effective than conventional meats. Scientists have said that people need to start eating bugs and less traditional meats, and that currently, Europe and the United States of America dominate the Western world market with over 400 operational enterprises focused on edible insects. The researchers said that the insects possess nutritional profiles of significant significance, saying that they serve as a valuable addition to current dietary intake due to their beneficial effects on health, environmental sustainability, and plenty of alternative proteins. At present, about 2,100 insect species are ingested by a global population of 2 billion individuals from 130 nations. One announcement that caused uproar online was when scientists and researchers announced their intention to administer insects to youngsters aged 5 to 11, adding that they scheduled testing in 4 primary schools in Wales. The insects will consist of house crickets and mealworms, and they will be combined to produce a bolognese sauce. The scientific team stated that all of this meal will be derived from insect protein, with the intention of encouraging children and their parents to transition away from meat protein. The initiative, spearheaded by researchers from Cardiff University and the University of the West of England, intends to conduct surveys among primary school children to assess their perspectives on environmental concerns. The objective is to potentially influence their children's opinions on organic food and explore strategies to encourage its consumption. According to one of the researchers, the most effective approach to achieve this is by entering the school premises at an early stage, therefore, influencing the perspectives of young individuals regarding conventional food choices and exposing them to the realm of insect protein. Following the hacker's revelation, public reaction was swift and largely negative, with widespread concern and even outrage over the implications of such a dietary shift. Social media platforms quickly became saturated with debates, criticisms, and fears about the future of food accessibility, with many users expressing strong resistance to the idea of insect protein as a primary food source. Critics argued that while environmental sustainability is crucial, it shouldn't come at the cost of people's dietary autonomy or their right to access a variety of food options, including traditional meat. The idea that only the wealthy might afford real meat, while others are relegated to insect-based diets, struck a chord, touching on fears of growing inequality and basic rights, including access to nutritious food. A common theme in public responses was the resentment toward what many saw as a paternalistic push by corporations and governments to solve sustainability issues by restricting options for the average person. Skeptics questioned why the burden of sustainability seemed to be falling disproportionately on regular citizens rather than on corporations and industries that contribute the most to environmental degradation. Many argued that reducing environmental impact should start with reforms in large-scale industrial practices rather than individual diets. They viewed the push for insect protein as a way for powerful entities to deflect attention from the large-scale environmental harm they cause, placing responsibility on individuals instead. Some activists and advocates took issue with what they saw as the implicit classism in this potential dietary shift. They argued that limiting meat access based on income is a form of social engineering that could reinforce existing economic divides, even making them more pronounced. Many compared the proposed insect diet to historical examples of lower-income groups being pushed toward foods that were stigmatized or seen as lesser. They feared that such a system could create a two-tiered food economy, one in which the wealthy eat high-quality varied diets, while the general population is left with options that, though sustainable, may feel forced and inferior. One of the loudest concerns came from families and individuals who questioned the nutritional adequacy of insect protein. Many were hesitant to accept insect-based meals as their primary source of protein, citing the need for balanced diets that include various protein sources. They voiced concerns about whether insect protein could provide the full range of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals needed for a healthy diet over time. Though proponents of insect protein argue that it is rich in nutrients, skeptics questioned whether these claims had been sufficiently backed by long-term research. For parents especially, the idea of schools potentially adopting insect protein meals was troubling, as many worried about the possible health impacts on children. Cultural resistance also played a significant role in the backlash. In many cultures, traditional meat is deeply tied to identity, celebrations, and family traditions. For countless people around the world, meat consumption is more than a dietary preference. It holds cultural and emotional significance. The thought of replacing these traditional foods with insect protein was, for some, seen as an erasure of cultural heritage. Many felt that governments and corporations were overlooking the importance of food as a social and cultural institution, reducing it to a commodity that can be restructured without regard to tradition or sentiment. This backlash also sparked an increase in food activism, with people rallying to advocate for transparency and inclusivity in food policy decisions. Some groups pushed for policies that would prioritize affordable, sustainable meat alternatives over insect-based diets, such as plant-based proteins and lab-grown meat. Others emphasized the need for a more democratic approach, calling on governments to involve citizens in decision-making processes about dietary guidelines and agricultural policies. Some activists proposed the idea of subsidies for ethical and sustainable meat farming practices that would allow people to access meat without causing excessive environmental harm. To counter the push for insect protein, a wave of food sovereignty movements emerged, emphasizing the right of individuals and communities to choose their own food sources without external pressure. Advocates of food sovereignty argued that policies should aim to provide people with sustainable options without dictating specific dietary shifts. They pushed for diversified agriculture, food education, and investment in alternative proteins that maintain cultural significance and consumer choice. The potential replacement of traditional meat with insect protein, according to these movements, represents a threat to the very idea of food sovereignty by suggesting that economic status should determine access to diverse food sources. The negative reactions to this announcement also spurred discussions on the ethics of profit-driven food policy. Many critics pointed out that corporations investing in insect protein stand to profit immensely if the shift becomes widespread. They argued that the influence of corporate interests in promoting insect protein as a staple raises ethical questions about the motivations behind such policies. Are governments genuinely interested in sustainability, or are they, as some suggested, paving the way for a new market controlled by a few powerful corporations? The notion that individuals could be manipulated into accepting a diet determined by market forces, rather than personal preference or cultural values, raised concerns about consumer autonomy and the risks of monopolistic practices in food production. In the wake of this announcement, public dissatisfaction continued to grow, with many people expressing the desire for greater transparency, choice, and inclusivity in the conversation around sustainable diets. Some demanded that alternative solutions be explored and promoted rather than what felt like a restrictive mandate toward insect protein for economic or environmental reasons. The backlash highlighted a significant tension between the urgency of sustainable practices and the rights of individuals to make dietary choices that align with their cultural, personal, and ethical beliefs. Ultimately, the uproar over the anonymous hacker's claims reflects a fundamental question. As society moves towards sustainability, who gets to decide what sacrifices are made and by whom? The push for insect protein has opened a broader conversation about equity, choice, and the balance between environmental responsibility and individual freedoms. On September 11, 2016, a NASA photograph captured an image that was shared to UFO communities. The photo, taken by NASA's Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, appeared to show a massive four-armed object near the Sun, giving the impression of a giant UFO. As the image circulated online, many who saw it couldn't help but draw comparisons to the infamous alien tripod from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. The strange shape of the object, with what seemed like elongated arms or appendages extending outward, stirred discussions across social media, forums, and even news outlets. People wondered whether this was a sign of extraterrestrial life, a rare celestial phenomenon, or something else entirely. The image in question, which NASA released as part of its usual solar observation routine, was quickly picked up by UFO communities who analyzed solar and heliospheric observatory photos for any irregularities. Unlike the typical lens flares, reflections, or cosmic rays that solar and heliospheric observatory images occasionally show, this object appeared distinct, symmetrical, and structured. It looked as though it had four arm-like extensions radiating from a central core, making it hard to dismiss as a simple artifact. Its positioning and shape led many to believe that this could not have been a random alignment of particles or a natural space object. The unique formation was especially striking against the vast backdrop of the Sun, further enhancing its seemingly artificial appearance. One of the reasons why this particular image resonated so deeply with viewers was its striking resemblance to the alien tripods depicted in War of the Worlds. H.G. Wells' alien tripods, as described in his novel, are three-legged war machines controlled by Martians, towering over the landscape as they unleash destruction upon Earth. While Wells' original vision was intended as science fiction, his description of a massive, multi-limbed alien machine stuck with readers and became an iconic symbol in popular culture. When the NASA photo circulated, people began comparing this four-armed object to the tripods, and the idea of a lurking extraterrestrial machine gained a certain eerie allure. For many, the association with Wells' creation made the potential of an alien origin feel all the more plausible, fueling theories that this structure could be an interstellar machine or vessel capable of harnessing solar energy. Several theories emerged to explain what this four-armed UFO could be. Among the most prominent was the idea that it was an advanced alien probe or spacecraft observing our solar system, using the Sun's energy to refuel or to study solar activity. This theory was rooted in the observation that the object seemed unusually close to the Sun, where no human-made spacecraft could withstand the intense heat and radiation. If it were indeed an alien craft, it would suggest a level of technology far beyond our own. The notion that such an object could exist so close to our Sun without being incinerated sparked debates among enthusiasts, as many speculated that the craft must have some form of advanced shielding or energy-absorbing technology. Another prevalent theory suggested that this four-armed shape might be a Dyson-like structure. Named after the physicist Freeman Dyson, a Dyson sphere is a hypothetical megastructure built around a star to capture its energy. Dyson speculated that advanced civilizations might construct such structures to harness energy on a grand scale. Though a complete Dyson sphere surrounding the Sun would be visible and obvious, the four-armed structure in the NASA photo led some to theorize that it might be a more partial, movable construct, perhaps a smaller energy-collecting array set close to the Sun to draw power directly. This idea excited many who believe that extraterrestrial civilizations could have developed large, complex machines for energy capture that resemble this object. While many people were open to the idea of an extraterrestrial origin, skeptics offered alternative explanations rooted in the natural sciences and the technical intricacies of solar imaging. Some argued that the object could be a result of pixelation or compression artifacts within the camera's processing system, which can sometimes produce unusual shapes when light or radiation interacts with the camera's sensors. However, those who believed in the UFO explanation pointed out that similar forearm shapes had appeared in other NASA images over the years, creating a pattern that seemed less like random anomalies and more like recurring sightings. This pattern bolstered the argument that whatever it was, this object had made multiple appearances near the Sun, suggesting it was not a one-time coincidence. Proponents of the UFO theory argued that these recurring sightings hinted at intentionality, as if an interstellar visitor was making periodic stops in our solar system to monitor or refuel near the Sun. In response to the intense speculation, NASA released a statement clarifying that what people saw was likely a cosmic ray hitting the sensor or a processing artifact, common occurrences in images taken near the sun. NASA's explanation did little to deter UFO enthusiasts, however. For many, the official clarification seemed like a predictable response aimed at calming public curiosity without genuinely addressing the possibility of extraterrestrial life. This added to a sense of distrust, with some arguing that NASA might be concealing the existence of extraterrestrial technology or, at the very least, downplaying unusual phenomena in space. The image of the four-armed UFO remains a captivating point of discussion among UFO researchers and enthusiasts. For some, it represents a momentary glimpse of something truly extraordinary, a sign of life or intelligence beyond Earth, captured unknowingly in a simple photograph. For others, it stands as a reminder of the power of imagination and the human tendency to see patterns or meanings in random visuals. The appearance of mysterious objects near the sun is far from a new phenomenon. For decades, UFO enthusiasts and researchers have documented sightings of unidentified objects around the sun, often using NASA's Solar and Heliospheric Observatory and Solar Dynamics Observatory images as primary sources. These objects, sometimes spherical, angular, or even shaped like massive structures, have spurred extensive debate. Their proximity to the sun, an intensely hostile environment with extreme heat and radiation, makes the sightings all the more intriguing as no known human-made craft could survive such conditions. Historically, reports of unidentified objects near the sun date back to early space observation missions. In the 1950s-1960s, as astronomers used increasingly advanced telescopes to observe solar activity, some reported strange anomalies, such as small, darkened spots that moved independently of the sun's solar flares or planetary bodies. These early sightings were often dismissed as optical illusions or limitations of observational technology. The Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, a collaborative project between NASA and the European Space Agency, was designed to study the sun and provide real-time images of solar activity. Almost immediately after the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory began transmitting images, UFO hunters began spotting unusual objects that didn't align with known celestial bodies, solar flares, or cosmic rays. Some objects appear to have a structured form resembling spacecraft or mechanical constructs rather than random debris. One of the earliest high-profile sightings occurred in the late 1990s when the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory images revealed a massive angular object hovering near the sun. This sparked the first major wave of theories about extraterrestrial technology using the sun's energy, a concept that has since become a cornerstone of UFO law. Some of these objects seemed almost geometrically perfect, leading some to speculate that they might be interstellar probes, alien spacecraft, or even parts of a massive Dyson swarm, a concept in which smaller structures orbit a star to collect energy. This theory suggests that an advanced civilization might have constructed a fleet of small structures near the sun to harvest solar power. One sighting in particular, often called the cube UFO, drew significant attention in 2011. A massive cube-like object appeared near the sun, sparking theories that it might be an alien structure. The cube seemed to be moving slowly across the solar surface and was visible for several frames of SDO footage before vanishing. NASA later explained the sighting as a processing error caused by cosmic rays interacting with the camera's sensors, but the sighting had already become part of the growing mythos surrounding solar UFOs. The apparent structural forms of these objects have led many to reject natural or optical explanations. For example, in 2012, a large spherical object with a dark center appeared in Solar and Heliospheric Observatory images, and it appeared to be draining energy from the sun in one frame before disappearing in the next. This led to a popular theory that the object might have been refueling, possibly gathering solar plasma for an unknown purpose. NASA dismissed the sighting as a typical coronal cavity, which is a common feature of the sun's atmosphere. However, UFO researchers argued that the spherical object's distinct separation from the sun's surface indicated something more unusual, sparking theories of an advanced refueling station or even a gigantic craft. Critics argue that many of these objects are simply artifacts, errors in data processing, cosmic rays hitting sensors, or digital distortions. These technical explanations have not deterred believers who argue that, given the consistency and frequency of sightings, there must be more to the phenomenon than simple artifacts. While NASA's explanations often rely on well-documented observational challenges, the number of anomalous sightings close to the Sun continues to intrigue both skeptics and believers alike. Theories about these solar UFOs have also drawn from the work of renowned physicists and astronomers. The persistent sightings of UFOs near the Sun have woven a rich tapestry of speculation, scientific inquiry, and imaginative hypotheses. Whether they are cosmic illusions, natural anomalies, or something beyond human comprehension, these sightings continue to captivate the public. Each new discovery, whether supported or refuted by scientific explanation, adds to the allure of the unknown and challenges our assumptions about life and technology beyond Earth. Comet Leonard's visibility is diminishing, but it is not leaving without a final spectacle. Recently, it reached its closest point to Earth on December 12th, providing excellent opportunities for observation. As the comet progresses through the inner solar system, a remarkable change has occurred. The comet's tail now exhibits a twisted streamer-like appearance, while its core continues to grow brighter. However, during the event, NASA captured an intriguing image of an unusual occurrence between Earth and Venus. Online spectators who witnessed the event reported the emergence of a substantial shield-like object during Comet Leonard's closest approach. The camera named Stereo H2 captured this footage, and it is evident that a significant structure emerges between Earth and Venus. Positioned on the left side of the screen, Venus is accompanied by Earth on the right. As Comet Leonard made its way near Earth, an intriguing development occurred. A remarkable construction seemingly arose, resembling a massive structure enveloping our planet. This structure even obstructed some of the comet's tail from reaching Earth, garnering noteworthy attention and speculation. The peculiarity of this video lies in the sudden appearance of a shield-shaped object when Comet Leonard becomes visible. Some speculate that this object serves as a form of protection for Earth, shielding it from the comet or any potential space debris. It is worth noting that this is not the first instance where the stereo camera has detected this mysterious object. In March 2020, while observing the Lagoon Nebula alongside Venus and Earth, an intriguing image was captured. The shared photographs generated considerable excitement, with individuals noting the resemblance of the object to a massive wheel. Furthermore, it seemed to emit a beam in front of it, prompting speculation that it could be a form of protection against space debris aimed at safeguarding our planet. The video captured by the Stereo B spacecraft's telescope, which is operated by NASA, is intriguing due to its direct source. These probes are positioned on opposite sides of the Sun, aiding NASA and other scientists in studying the inner mechanisms of the solar system. They are particularly valuable for observing celestial objects that pass near Earth. As mentioned, this enigmatic triangular entity has approached us on previous occasions. A knowledgeable and neutral audience will find it informative to learn that someone mentioned the sighting of a wheel that resembled the provided image, but NASA dismissed it as unremarkable. What stands out is that the wheel only becomes visible when the comet aligns with Earth. This individual expressed their viewpoint, stating the following: "These images and videos were sourced directly from NASA, leaving no room for doubt regarding their origin. I am completely clueless as to the identity and the process by which this object takes shape. However, NASA have told people that the object in question can be explained, saying that what we are seeing is just a recurring image artifact caused by internal reflections of a planet." They addressed this footage and said the following on Stereo's official website: "Some people have noticed a strange triangular or diamond-shaped object entering the field of view of the telescope on Stereo. You can see the feature in question in this movie moving from right to left, just above the occulta on the right side of the image, and more clearly in this close-up movie. The answer for what this artifact is lies on the exact opposite side of the image. At the same time as this strange-looking feature starts being visible, the very bright planet Venus enters the field of view from the lower left. Notice that Venus and the feature stay in step almost exactly opposite each other across the middle of the detector. This is not a coincidence. The strange-looking geometrical object is actually an internal reflection of the planet Venus within the telescope optics. This effect has been seen many times before. The phenomenon of unidentified objects has been a subject of intrigue for both scientists and the general public. An especially curious subset of these sightings is the one that involves mysterious objects seen near our sun. These instances, often captured in photographs and videos by solar observatories and space-based telescopes, challenge our understanding and provoke fascinating questions about the nature of these objects. The sun, due to its extreme conditions and proximity to Earth, is an area of keen interest for astronomers. Solar observations have been conducted using various tools, such as NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory, the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, and numerous ground-based observatories. During these observations, anomalies occasionally appear. These oddities, often interpreted as unidentified objects by some observers, exhibit unusual characteristics such as abrupt changes in direction, speed, or even shape. Some of these sightings have suggested massive objects, far larger than any man-made spacecraft, seemingly maneuvering close to the sun's surface. The implications of an artificial object able to withstand and navigate the sun's extreme environment with temperatures reaching millions of degrees and intense gravitational and magnetic forces are both bewildering and revolutionary, signifying a technological prowess far beyond our current capabilities. However, while these sightings are undeniably intriguing, they also invite skepticism and alternate explanations. Scientists often attribute such anomalies to instrumental artifacts, optical illusions, or natural celestial phenomena. For instance, a common artifact in space imaging is the cosmic ray hit, where high-energy particles interfere with the image sensor to produce bright spots or streaks. Other explanations include the remnants of comets or meteoroids, solar prominences, or coronal mass ejections, all of which can create unusual and dramatic patterns in the solar vicinity. These rational explanations underscore the importance of adhering to scientific methodologies when investigating these sightings. Nevertheless, the continued presence of unexplained anomalies in our solar observations indicates that our understanding of the universe is still far from complete. Each unexplained sighting, whether eventually debunked or left unresolved, contributes to our growing knowledge base and inspires further exploration and inquiry. As the search for advanced intelligence continues, these mysterious sightings highlight an essential aspect of the endeavor. The universe is vast and largely unexplored, teeming with mysteries that we are only beginning to probe. Whether these mysterious objects turn out to be advanced spacecrafts, natural phenomena, or simply glitches in our instruments, their investigation pushes the boundaries of our understanding and brings us one step closer to answering the age-old question, are we alone in the universe? NASA finds massive gravity anomaly buried under Antarctica. NASA's satellites have noticed a gravity anomaly sitting within a 300-mile-wide crater buried deep underneath Antarctica's ice, seemingly consistent with the giant asteroid impact that caused the Permian-Triassic extinction roughly 250 million years ago. The asteroid triggered a mass extinction that lasted nearly 2 million years, starting volcanic flows and hot spots. This crater is estimated to be almost 3 times the Chicxulub crater's size, which is the asteroid impact that killed off the dinosaurs. Scientists believe that this crater was formed even before East Antarctica's coastal Cretaceous formation. NASA and the German Aerospace Center ran a 15-year-long mission to measure gravity anomalies throughout the planet and discover how its mass is distributed and changes over time. The joint mission was called the Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment, or GRACE, and ran from March 2002 to October 2017. They sent satellites that would detect any subtle shifts in the Earth's magnetic and gravity fields. Gravitational force is affected by mass, so any changes indicate a redistribution of mass, something large enough to alter it. GRACE sent 2 satellites into orbit at the same altitudes, one trailing the other, and circled the poles about 15 times every day. In 2006, a group of researchers examined data from these satellites when they noticed an anomaly below Antarctica's ice. Using GRACE's records, they determined that the anomaly was due to a massive crater that had been buried for 1 million of years, most likely from an asteroid impact. The discovery has instigated a flurry of theories, with the most popular being the existence of 1930s-1940s German bases. Theorists claim that Germany built secret hideouts in the continent during that time, evidenced by the multiple entrances that exist around Antarctica. They argue that the Germans were building UFOs because the entrance's size required you to fly in a saucer-shaped vessel. In 1991, the KGB revealed classified documents from the U.S. Navy's Operation High Jump, which proved they had sent numerous missions to the Antarctic during the 1970s. The theorists say that although the Navy claimed they were only researching the continent, they were there to investigate an entrance that supposedly led to the inner Earth. Thousands of sailors and crew were dispatched over the years, allowing rumors of UFO bases, German hideouts, and portals to the underworld to grow. Scientists, though, argue that the mysterious anomaly is an impact crater. The massive Wilkes land gravity anomaly is about 151 miles wide and reaches a minimum depth of 2,700 feet. Researchers believe that a giant asteroid could have impacted the Antarctic and initiated the Permian-Triassic extinction, which was the largest extinction of life in Earth's history. It killed 96% of all sea creatures and about 70% of the land-dwelling vertebrate organisms, much more catastrophic than what killed the dinosaurs. The collision would have caused drastic climate changes and created a challenging environment to live in, resulting in many species to have lost their lives. Since the crater is covered by miles of thick glacial ice, researchers have not been able to test it or pull samples properly. They have only been able to quickly inspect it based on its magnetic and gravitational anomalies. Scientists have no accurate way to figure out what is buried deep within Antarctica's ice, so it will remain a mystery until they do. HD 164,595. HD 164595 is a star in the Hercules constellation that is strikingly similar to our Sun. The two stars are both classified as Class G stars due to their size and characteristics. And while our Sun obviously has numerous planets orbiting in its fiery gravitational pull, it appears that HD 164595 only has one planet, which makes a complete orbit every 40 days. Any time that a star and planet combination appear to resemble the characteristics of our own, a scientific organization known as SETI, or the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, carefully observes it as a possible location of life beyond our solar system. And while stars of this nature and their respective planets generally just continue as they always have without giving SETI much to go on, HD 164595 is a little different. The star made headlines and raised the proverbial antennae of alien life watchers in 2016, when a very strong signal was detected coming from that region. The signal, which traveled the 94 light-years between the Earth and the star, was still incredibly strong when it reached a Russian telescope trained on the star. An international team of researchers and astronomers immediately banded together to study the star further and attempt to determine what could have caused the signal, and if it could mean that the planet-star duo housed extraterrestrial life forms. Douglas Vakic, an astronomer who is heavily involved in the study of the potential for alien life, said in an interview with CNN that the signal from HD 164595 is intriguing because it comes from the vicinity of a sun-like star, and if it's artificial, its strength is great enough that it was clearly made by a civilization with capabilities beyond those of humankind. While it is hard to imagine a civilization that is dozens and dozens of times more advanced than we are, the truth is that it's highly likely that this could be the case, as our own technologies would not be able to generate a signal of the strength seen emanating from HD 164595. However, researchers do wonder if it is indeed a signal generated by alien life forms. Why would they be targeting our solar system? Some suggest that we might be just as much of a mystery to them as they are to us. Since our own signals would not reach them, it is possible that they do not know we are even here in the first place. And while the implications of the signal being artificial are huge, experts and SETI researchers do admit that the chances of this being a call from aliens is very slim. Without corroboration from an independent observatory, a putative signal from extraterrestrials doesn't have a lot of credibility, admitted Vakic. The greatest limitation is that it hasn't been replicated. Before we can give any credence to a signal as coming from extraterrestrials, we need to see it repeatedly to make sure it wasn't just a transient phenomenon. And while the SETI researchers hold out hope that the signal comes again or the alien life forms reach out or signal in another way, the unsettling fact is that our own technologies are not advanced enough to answer the question of extraterrestrial life once and for all. If aliens do exist somewhere out there, then they are going to have to come to us. And if the signal truly was just a fluke, never to be repeated, it will likely go into the records as just another inexplicable element of space creating one more unsolved mystery. NASA space probes discover man-made barrier surrounding Earth. Humankind accidentally protected itself from possibly dangerous cosmic events. An artificial barrier, or bubble as some call it, was found surrounding the Earth. This barrier not only affects weather events in space, but also protects us from dangerous cosmic weather. Human impact on Earth is undeniable, but now we know our technology significantly impacts our outer atmosphere and beyond. As it turns out, the bubble was created by the interaction of man-made technology in space, more specifically, the interaction between high-energy radiation particles in space and man-made radio communications from Earth. The radio waves in question are typically used to communicate with submarines under the ocean surface and are frequently used in science, engineering, and military operations. As these waves work to reach their destination, they can end up reaching out beyond Earth's atmosphere and interacting with external radiation particles in space. Dan Baker from the University of Colorado Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics calls the bubble an impenetrable barrier. This artificial barrier protects Earth from possible dangers like solar flares or coronal mass ejections. All these phenomena can lead to radiation particles entering the atmosphere, which could interrupt our electrical grids and radio wave communications. So how was the barrier discovered? In 2012, a mission was launched with the sole purpose of studying the Van Allen radiation belts. 5 years later, in 2017, scientists were surprised to instead find a low-frequency barrier that stopped dangerous solar discharges from impacting Earth. The barrier or bubble also happens to line up with the inner edge of the Van Allen belts. This information has scientists suspecting that the radio waves used in submarine communications, VLF waves, repel radiation particles. If we stopped using VLF waves, the radiation belts would move much closer to Earth's atmosphere. Right now, the radiation belts are further away from Earth than they were in 1960. Scientists have been discussing how this finding shows our impact on space. We have, without a doubt, made an impact on the Earth, but this barrier may be one of the best things that we have done for our planet. Scientists discover rare asteroid that will follow Earth in orbit for the next 4,000 years. There are millions, if not billions, of asteroids potentially whizzing around in space. Scientists who discover these traveling lumps of rock have plenty of examples to study and learn from. But it is not every day that something truly special shows up. In this case, it is what's known as an Earth Trojan asteroid, which is a small piece of space rock that has the same orbit as Earth. A study only recently published announced that researchers had proven the asteroid's existence, and also stated that the rock will be following Earth's orbit for at least another several 1,000 years. A team of astronomers from the Institute of Cosmosciences of the University of Barcelona proudly declared their discovery of 2020 XL5, the second Earth Trojan ever confirmed after 10 years of tireless searching. 2020 XL5 is believed to be around 0.7 miles in diameter. For context, the first Earth Trojan 2010 TK7 was 0.2 miles in diameter. The size is important in Earth Trojan asteroids as the sweet spot allows the rock to balance within Earth's orbit around the Sun. Trojan asteroids are nothing new. For decades, we have been aware of Trojans on Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. Though Earth ones have proven to be more elusive, there have been many previous attempts to find Earth Trojans. Tony Santana Ross, one of the authors of the new publication, said to press, "All the dedicated efforts had so far failed to discover any new members of this population. Spotting Earth Trojans is surprisingly difficult. Because of their distance to the Sun, the window of opportunity to spot them is very small. It is only around sunrise that we can try to catch a glimpse of them. However, scientists have got around this by utilizing huge telescopes in Arizona and Cerro Passion in Chile to photograph the asteroids. Scientists are interested in Trojans mostly due to their age, as many of them were around during the earliest stages of the solar system. They are effectively time capsules of the conditions for that time. In fact, NASA's Lucy mission, which launched in October 2021, is set to visit 8 different Trojan asteroids in the next 12 years. NASA is set up to explore a massive metal asteroid. We are all familiar with asteroids and are a valuable research material. NASA are beginning to investigate an astonishingly large asteroid reaching a staggering 140 miles in width. This is 16 Psyche, the huge asteroid that NASA is hoping to find the ins and outs of in 2022. Researchers have managed to research the light reflected from the asteroid, and the data suggests the asteroid could contain iron, nickel, or gold within the celestial object. It is no secret that asteroids can be immensely valuable. The only catch here is that by the time asteroids make it to Earth, the atmosphere tends to have destroyed a great deal of the material. This asteroid is estimated to clock in at a grand total of $10,000 quadrillion. For reference, according to Statista, in 2020, the global economy was worth $84.5 trillion. 16 Psyche was first observed in 1852, spied in the main asteroid belt lying between Mars and Jupiter. This places it 3 times further away from the Sun, and it takes 5 years here on Earth to complete one orbit of the Sun for 16 Psyche. Principal investigator from the Arizona State University, Lindy Elkins-Tanton, said that if it does end up being one part of the larger metal core, this would be the first discovery of its kind in our own solar system, telling us about the first generation of early cores. She speculates the above, but clarifies after, but we don't really know, and we won't know anything for sure until we get there. Research into this asteroid could reveal what materials contributed to the formation of our planets. We have not got too much information on 16 Psyche as of yet. We are yet to have a mission reach the asteroid, though a NASA mission, also named 16 Psyche, is set to depart in August 2022 looking for more answers. Even more difficult, however, is conducting observations from here on Earth. Through our telescopes from home, 16 Psyche appears as nothing more than a fuzzy blip on the screen. Satellite telescopes, like the famous Hubble Space Telescope, are unable to capture a large amount of detail, unfortunately. We have been able to draw some limited conclusions thanks to the work of radar data scientists who have been able to figure out how the asteroid rotates and that it has a somewhat oval shape. When NASA sends their mission off, 16 Psyche will be observed for 21 months by an orbiter spanning 435 miles above the surface of the asteroid. Elkins-Tanton said, "We don't know what we are going to find. I'm expecting us to be entirely surprised. Hopefully, as we begin to unravel more and more, we can understand the specifics behind the asteroids that keep us company within our solar system." Exoplanet collision at BD 20307. We have lots of wonderful tools and impressive telescopes at our disposal, including the well-known names like the Hubble Space Telescope or the Keck Observatory. However, one of the more impressive and interesting observatories has been built through a team effort between NASA and DLR, the German Aerospace Center. That is SOFIA, the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy. This is a Boeing 747 aircraft fitted with an infrared telescope on the port side of the fuselage. This telescope is fully decked out for infrared astronomy, including Forecast, the faint object infrared camera for the SOFIA telescope. Forecast, fitted on SOFIA in 2019, spied what could be a truly fascinating discovery. Scientists believe it could have been the collision of 2 exoplanets. BD 20307 is about 300 million light-years from Earth. It is a double system formed of stars that are crucial to this research. The system is roughly 1 billion years old. By the time a system is this old, we expect all circumstellar dust to have disappeared, though just 10 years ago observations from the Spitzer instrument suggested warm debris was around the system. SFIA has collected some new data to add to the discussion. This has shown that the infrared brightness of the debris at BD 20307 has increased by 10% over the course of 10 years. This is a quick development that we do not usually see in an established older system like this. Some scientists are suggesting that the quick developments and out-of-the-ordinary features could point towards a collision of 2 exoplanets. Alicia Weinberger, a scientist at the Carnegie Institution for Science's Department of Terrestrial Magnetism and lead investigator of the research, explains that the SOFIA observations are incredibly valuable, both in the timescale the changes are shown on and in the rarity of the observation. She said, "This is a rare opportunity to study catastrophic collisions occurring late in a planetary system's history. This research could also help develop our understanding into the development of binary systems, looking at how they evolve. The hope is that this knowledge could then be applicable during research towards the Alpha Centauri triple system. If the unusual activity going on at BD 20307 is in fact an exoplanet collision, more research should be able to help us confirm this. We can then look for these same signs in other parts of our universe and keep an eye out for potential hazards within our own solar system." Some have even suggested that the large axial tilt of Uranus is likely due to a number of collisions. As the research develops, we can hope to draw more concrete conclusions. Astronomers discover hidden trove of massive black holes. Sometimes we can look at something time and time again, still never noticing every detail. Whether it is a missed clue in your favorite film or a seemingly new brushstroke in a painting, this is something each one of us has experienced. Well, it appears that the scientific world is no exception. A research team led by those at the University of North Carolina has uncovered a whole host of massive black holes in dwarf galaxies, despite us looking in the areas previously. These massive black holes have been looked past over and over. But now that we know that they are there, they could have a huge potential to help us figure out the details behind the supermassive black hole in the center of the Milky Way. Our galaxy takes the form of a giant spiral, meaning, as our current understanding has us believe, it's made up of lots of small dwarf galaxies and they're merging together. One example of this is the Magellanic Clouds. These clouds are irregular galaxies that appear as an illuminated patch in the sky. They are seen in the south and they are understood to be dwarf galaxies that will eventually become part of the Milky Way. When a new dwarf galaxy enters our galaxy, there is the potential that it brings along with it a massive black hole at its center. It's currently thought that an inevitable question of when, rather than if, this massive black hole will be absorbed by the supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way. While we acknowledge that this is a possibility, in reality, we do not know how often dwarf galaxies contain massive black holes. This is a glaring gap in our current knowledge as we know very little about how black holes and galaxies grow, develop, and interact with one another. This new research published in the Astrophysical Journal helps us to connect the dots as we uncover the black holes we simply had not seen before. Lead author of the study, Magda Palomera, said, "This result really blew my mind because these black holes were previously hiding in plain sight. It can be a fairly difficult process to detect black holes, evidenced by us repeatedly glossing over them. Usually, we can find them when they take in gas as this results in them growing and makes them glow." Professor Sheila Canapan, the co-author of the study, likened black holes to fireflies, in that we can only see them when they are lit up. So, if the black holes are not actively growing, then we do not know how many are truly there. Adding to this confusion is that the high-energy radiation characteristic of growing black holes is not exclusively a feature of them alone. New stars can be seen to have the same high-energy radiation. The research team realized that they could test where these signals were coming from, with a different number of tests allowing us to conclude if it is a young star being formed or a black hole growing that is being observed. So far, this research seems very promising, with a new acknowledgement that there is sometimes more to the picture than what we can see. The theories we currently hold are growing and expanding in size, allowing us to deepen our understanding, and more research will eventually be conducted, hopefully providing further evidence towards what we think we already know. A meteorite crater lake in India just changed color overnight. In a strange earthly phenomenon, locals, nature lovers, and, of course, scientists have been pleasantly surprised to discover a mysterious and sudden change in color of a crater lake in India. More specifically, the lake turned pink seemingly overnight in the western state of India called Maharashtra. Created about 50,000 years ago, Lona Lake was formed as the result of a meteorite crashing into Earth and has since become somewhat of a favorite among tourists and environmentalists and is located 500 kilometers from Mumbai. It has been reported that the lake has changed color before. What is striking about this shift is the rapid nature of this color transformation. Photos were shared widely across social media as the entirety of the lake appeared to be a gorgeous pinky hue, and scientists have tentatively attributed the color to changing saline levels as well as algae presence in the waters. Going into more detail, they explained that water levels in Lona Lake have been dropping for some time, meaning the concentration of saline has been rising. At the same time, warmer temperatures in the area have stimulated algae growth, increasing their levels to the verge of overgrowth. Almost a cyclical relationship, the algae then turns reddish in these warmer temperatures, providing an explanation for the new color of the lake. While this is scientifically correct and likely theory given by geologist Gajanan Karat, officials from the state's forest department have also collected water samples to verify and test the exact causes behind this occurrence. Lastly, there is one other theorized factor behind the lake's newfound appearance. Speculation has it that the recent lockdowns, which have put a grinding halt to industrial and factory productions, may have played a part through the significantly lower levels of pollution seen in the surrounding air. Similarly, less human traffic in the area has had the combined effect of better natural preservation for the lake, albeit a sudden shift to this cleaner environment. Only the results from the lab's tests of the water samples can provide a completely certain explanation, but regardless of how it happened, it goes to show how beautiful and mysterious some of the Earth's natural features can be. Astronomers find 7 dwarf galaxy groups. Dwarf galaxies are small bundles of stars containing between 1,000 and up to several 1 billion stars. This might sound like a lot, but our own Milky Way galaxy has between 200 and 1 billion stars in it alone. This can make these dwarf galaxies up to 1,000 times smaller than our own galaxy. Researchers have never had too much evidence for this theory, though it is often believed that galaxies are formed when dwarf galaxies merge together. This was until 2017, when a research paper was published giving us some more evidence to back up these claims. Data was collected from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey alongside a handful of optical telescopes. This allowed a team of astronomers to begin their research, a process that began with the observation of 7 individual, distinctly separate groups of dwarf galaxies. The team noted that the conditions of these dwarf galaxies were perfect to observe and see if they could in fact merge, morphing into one larger galaxy, with the possibility of a spiral galaxy like our Milky Way also being considered. This research could give us substantial evidence to support our claims that what we consider mature galaxies today were once much smaller galaxies billions and billions of years ago. Sabrina Stierwalt, an astronomer with the National Radio Astronomy Observatory and the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, explained that we know the universe needs to bring small galaxies together to form a bigger one, but that up until now we could not prove it or show how it happened. She continued to say, "For the first time, we have found examples of the first steps in this process, entire populations of dwarf galaxies that are all bound together in the same general neighborhoods." The team analyzed the data gathered from the SDSS in excruciating detail, looking for dwarf galaxies that looked as though they could be interacting with one another. The team were keeping their eyes peeled for pairs that could be part of bigger assemblies of alike galaxies. Further research was then conducted to put these images into perspective with the Magellan Telescope in Chile, the Apache Point Observatory in New Mexico, and the Gemini Telescope in Hawaii being used to check that these dwarf galaxies are similar distances from Earth, not just aligned, as this could suggest that they are gravitationally bound together. It is hoped that this study provides some more data for future research groups studying groups of dwarf galaxies. This can offer a glimpse into how galaxies are formed and possibly help people to predict future formation patterns. 486 to 958 Arrokoth. 486 to 958 Arrokoth is the most distant object ever explored and is also known as 2014 MU69 by its original destination. It was discovered on the June 26, 2014. In the Algonquian language, Arrokoth means sky. New Horizons principal investigator, Alan Stern, claimed, "The name Arrokoth reflects the inspiration of looking to the skies and wondering about the stars and worlds beyond our own." It is situated in the Kuiper Belt, which is relatively similar to an asteroid belt, but much larger in size. Many objects wavering within the Kuiper Belt are well preserved and frozen, similar to a time capsule, giving us an inside look on what the outer solar system was like after its initial conception. These small objects within the Kuiper Belt have been mostly unchanged for over 4 billion years. The Kuiper Belt is known as the solar system's third zone. Arrokoth is also a trans-Neptunian object. Trans-Neptunian objects are dwarf or minor-sized planets in our solar system that are at a greater distance than Neptune. Arrokoth checks in at 4 billion years old. It was discovered by Mark Biway using the Hubble Space Telescope. The observation was conducted by NASA's New Horizons science team. Mark Biway announced data from Arrokoth has given us an indication about the formation of planets and our cosmic origins. We believe this ancient body composed of 2 distinct lobes that merged into one entity may harbor answers that contribute to our understanding of the origin of life on Earth. Arrokoth has a red tint that is actually more red than Pluto, making it the reddest outer solar system object discovered to date. Arrokoth's amorphous shape is described by NASA as a snowman that's been partially flattened. It is 2 objects merged into one and is about 35 kilometers long, 20 kilometers wide, and 10 kilometers thick. Arrokoth is the furthest object that has been explored by humans. It was identified when the probe was 6,400,000,000 kilometers from Earth, and it is an estimated 6,600,000,000 kilometers away from Earth. It takes Arrokoth around 293 years to orbit the Sun once. Arakoth could give scientists answers that they have been searching decades for. There are two situations scientists have debated concerning planetary formation. The first scenario is hierarchical accretion, where small grains and pebbles bounce around, occasionally hitting into each other with enough force to stick, making bigger and bigger objects. Eventually, over the course of 1 million of years, these planets would have compiled matter from random, forceful collisions. The second scenario is cloud collapse, where certain regions of the nebula had a high density of particles, and these clumps were drawn towards each other until they spontaneously gravitationally collapsed. Unlike the forceful nature of hierarchical accretion collisions, cloud collapse collisions were leading to the planets being born. Dr. Alan Stern, the principal investigator of the New Horizons team, said, "The imagery shows no signs of violence, no fractures. The two lobes don't look smashed together, leaving room to certify the cloud collapse theory." Unsolved mysteries interest people for various reasons. Many people are drawn to the unknown and the unexplained, and unsolved mysteries provide a sense of mystery and wonder. The mystery surrounding the Georgia Guidestone's last moments. Someone has just revealed a small detail moments before the Georgia Guidestones were destroyed. The Georgia Guidestones was a granite monument located in Elbert County, Georgia, USA. It was erected in 1980 and consisted of 4 massive upright stones with a capstone on top and a central pillar that supported the capstone. The monument was inscribed with a set of 10 guidelines or principles written in 8 modern languages and a shorter message at the top of the structure written in 4 ancient languages. The guidelines or principles, often referred to as the 10 Commandments of the New Age, call for a balanced and sustainable approach to life on Earth, with respect for nature and human rights, and a focus on maintaining a peaceful and harmonious global community. The identity of the person or group responsible for the Georgia Guidestones is unknown, as the monument was commissioned through a pseudonym and the true identity of the commissioning party has never been revealed. Since the Georgia Guidestones were taken down, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has yet to identify any suspects related to the incident. Oddly enough, a soldier was watching the footage of the stones being destroyed when they noticed a small detail. The soldier reported that they have extensive knowledge when it comes to these types of explosions and said that something seemed off. He said the following: "I did 3 combat tours in Iraq, and I've seen my fair share of IED CFPs and dams. That was not a standard conventional munition. There was no blast wave, no collateral damage, 0 crater, and that was something powerful enough to absolutely destroy solid granite and not even touch the surrounding structure. Something extremely accurate, more accurate than any GPS-guided munition that is known. My guess would be this is something that is not operational or doesn't exist. I'd say that's an energy-based weapon and not conventional explosives." End quote. Interestingly, directed energy weapons are currently being used by the United States military. Directed energy weapons are a type of non-projectile technology that utilizes either electromagnetic or particle energy to strike a target. Unlike traditional weapons that rely on propellants to launch projectiles, directed energy weapons accomplish their aim through the manipulation of energy. In recent years, this technology has matured, leading to an increase in funding to support the ongoing research. Directed energy weapons are a set of advanced technologies that have the potential to transform modern warfare by reducing the risk of collateral damage. These weapons operate on the principle of manipulating electromagnetic or particle radiation to damage or destroy targets with precision and efficiency. Many questions remain, with users saying that the footage didn't look right, saying why would they only release a short 10-second video that cuts really quickly into another shot. At the time, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation was asking people for their help in identifying what happened, but then didn't release the footage in the lead-up to the event. This has led to some confusion, with many users echoing the same comments, asking why they would release only a small section of the footage, with others saying that officials clearly have cameras in the area and so questioned why they wouldn't just rewind it and show the public what happened moments before. One user said that the footage looks strange and said that there appears to be several cuts throughout it, suggesting that it was tampered with before it was released to the public. As of right now, many questions remain, and we are still no closer to understanding who took down the stones. It's just been announced in the last few days that 2 new Nazca humanoids have been discovered, and, oddly enough, their fingerprints are said to be completely different to that of a human's. Upon viewing the images, A significant number of individuals expressed their profound admiration, highlighting the challenging nature of replicating a fingerprint as attested by many observers. The intricate details captured in the photographs left a lasting impression, with viewers acknowledging the complexity involved, adding that it would be very difficult to fake a fingerprint. In a profound reflection on the Nazca discoveries, a user highlighted the distinct physical and biological attributes that define our individuality. This observation shed light on a novel revelation concerning these remarkable findings. Delving into the depths of these Nazca discoveries, the user emphasized the significance of recognizing the unique traits that set us apart as individuals. Amid recent revelations, it has come to light that the Peruvian government is facing a substantial lawsuit amounting to $300 million. The heart of this issue lies in the lack of assistance provided by Peruvian authorities to those delving into these significant discoveries. Instead of support, the investigators have encountered adversity in the form of insults and discreditation hurled at them by officials who have gone so far as to label them as deceivers. In a secluded area of Peru, the story takes place as indigenous inhabitants chance upon a remarkable spectacle, an unconventional item partly concealed in the ground. Upon thorough examination, they discover what seems to be the remnants of an extraterrestrial entity, a humanoid form displaying unfamiliar physical traits like elongated extremities, a large skull, and uniquely non-human attributes. The locals, taken aback by this find, promptly inform the authorities, sparking a wave of intrigue and investigation. This discovery incites a profound fascination among the populace as scientists, researchers, and curious onlookers flock to the site to scrutinize and unravel the mystery surrounding this enigmatic being. In the midst of escalating curiosity surrounding the alleged extraterrestrial being, a team of dedicated researchers sets out on an exhaustive and thorough investigation, delving deep into the intricate details of its physical characteristics and makeup. As they meticulously examine every aspect, a particular focus is placed on the hands of the enigmatic creature, revealing a fascinating discovery: a set of fingerprints that defy all known patterns observed in the human species. This unprecedented revelation sparks a new wave of intrigue and raises profound questions about the origins and nature of this mysterious entity. Through a meticulous examination of the extraterrestrial being's fingerprints, researchers have unveiled intricate patterns characterized by distinct ridges and whorls that elude any resemblance to established human fingerprint archetypes. The baffling uniqueness of these prints has left experts puzzled, hinting at a potential divergence in evolutionary lineage or a wholly distinct origin for the enigmatic creature. The unveiling of the distinct fingerprints on the extraterrestrial body sparks intense debates and conjecture, not only among scientists, but also in broader circles. Doubters cast shadows of uncertainty on the genuineness of the discoveries, casting doubt on both the trustworthiness of the examinations and the validity of the assertions. The emergence of these peculiar fingerprints on the alien organism has set off a maelstrom of discussions, with various factions offering contrasting viewpoints on the matter. Proponents advocating for the discovery assert that the existence of distinct fingerprints offers convincing proof regarding the extraterrestrial source of the alien entity. They highlight the detailed procedures and thorough examination carried out by specialists, reinforcing the credibility of the results. This breakthrough prompts profound inquiries into the essence of life outside our planet and challenges our comprehension of the universe. The presence of these unique fingerprints not only supports the claim of the alien body's origin from beyond Earth, but also invites contemplation on the potential implications for humanity's perception of existence in a vast cosmos. Others have questioned whether these discoveries are hybrids. The reported identification of an extraterrestrial being possessing distinct fingerprints carries profound implications for humanity's perception of the cosmos and our position in it. Should this discovery be verified, it would mark a significant advancement in our pursuit of comprehending the enigmas surrounding life beyond Earth. Such confirmation would not only represent a groundbreaking achievement, but also challenge established beliefs regarding evolution and the biological realm, prompting a reassessment of the potential diversity and intricacies of organisms existing elsewhere in the universe. This revelation has the potential to reshape our understanding of the vast expanse of the cosmos and the potential existence of life forms that differ significantly from those known to us. The breakthrough has the potential to transform the field of forensic science significantly and revolutionize the way fingerprint analysis is approached, presenting fresh perspectives on the origins and variety of life in the vast universe. Delving into the unique characteristics of extraterrestrial life forms fingerprints may reveal valuable insights into their evolutionary trajectories and biological diversities, contributing to a deeper understanding of the intricate mechanisms that shape life across the cosmos. Scientists have just announced that scans on the two aliens presented in Mexico suggest that they are not assembled or manipulated. Scientists and academics, in their ongoing effort to maintain credibility and uphold scientific rigor, have refuted the veracity of the findings presented by these researchers, regarding them as yet another publicity stunt. In Mexico City, medical professionals working at a laboratory conducted X-ray and CT scans on the bodies, utilizing advanced imaging techniques to examine and analyze them in detail. In terms of uncovering the truth behind the alleged hybrid bodies found in Mexico, it is important to note that José de Jesus Zalqui Benitez, the director of the Health Sciences Research Institute of the Secretary of the Navy, led the investigations and concluded that there was no evidence of assembly or manipulation of the bodies. This finding directly contradicts previous suggestions that the bodies were constructed using a combination of animal and human bones. As curiosity surrounding the alien body grew, researchers decided to subject it to a series of scientific tests, including X-ray imaging, to reveal its internal structure and composition. The X-rays unveiled startling details about the creature's anatomy, including a peculiar metal implant lodged in its neck, a discovery that only deepened the mystery surrounding its origin and purpose. The presence of the metal implant fueled speculation about the creature's origins and its potential connection to extraterrestrial beings. Some suggested that the implant served as a tracking device or communication device, allowing the creature to interact with its alien counterparts or navigate unfamiliar terrain. Others proposed more sinister explanations, such as experimentation or manipulation by unknown forces. The purported discovery of an alien body in Peru and the revelation of the metal implant have profound implications for humanity and our understanding of the universe. If confirmed, the discovery could represent a paradigm shift in our understanding of life beyond Earth, confirming that we are not alone in the cosmos. Speculation abounds about the origins and motivations of the alleged alien body, with theories ranging from interstellar travelers to clandestine government experiments. Some suggest that the creature may have crash-landed on Earth in a UFO, while others propose that it may be a genetically engineered being created by advanced civilizations. The possibility of extraterrestrial life has long intrigued humanity, fueling speculation, fascination, and scientific inquiry. Imagine a scenario in which this age-old question is definitively answered, and the existence of intelligent beings from other worlds is revealed to be real. The revelation of extraterrestrial life would constitute a seismic shift in our scientific understanding of the cosmos. For centuries, humanity has pondered the question of whether we are alone in the universe. The confirmation of alien life would validate the notion that life is not unique to Earth, but rather a common occurrence throughout the cosmos. This paradigm shift would revolutionize fields such as astrobiology, astronomy, and planetary science, prompting new avenues of research and exploration as scientists strive to understand the nature and diversity of extraterrestrial life forms. The discovery of extraterrestrial life would catalyze a wave of technological advancements as humanity endeavors to study, communicate with, and potentially visit these newfound neighbors in the cosmos. Breakthroughs in space exploration technologies, such as faster-than-light propulsion systems, advanced telescopes, and interstellar communication devices would enable humanity to venture further into the cosmos and establish contact with alien civilizations. Moreover, the need to protect Earth from potential threats posed by extraterrestrial visitors would spur the development of enhanced planetary defense systems and surveillance technologies. Alien disclosure would have profound cultural and societal implications, reshaping our collective worldview and sense of identity. The revelation that we are not alone in the universe would foster a sense of cosmic interconnectedness and solidarity among humanity, transcending national borders, political divides, and cultural differences. It would inspire a newfound sense of wonder and curiosity about the cosmos, igniting a global renaissance of science, exploration, and discovery. One hiker just posted a mysterious photograph to social media asking for people to help her identify what she had photographed. The image was taken in Baker Hot Springs on January 13th. Nestled in the barren and captivating landscapes of western Utah, Baker Hot Springs stands as a testament to the power of geothermal activity and the enduring allure of natural hot springs. Located about 140 miles southwest of Salt Lake City, near the small town of Delta, Baker Hot Springs is a geothermal oasis that has long been cherished by locals and adventurous travelers alike. However, this hiker encountered something unexpected. The woman said her eyes fixated on a figure slowly approaching, describing it as a tall, slender figure. As it drew nearer, her curiosity morphed into bewilderment. The being had an elongated, bulbous head that seemed to defy the laws of nature. Its eyes were large, almond-shaped, and didn't match those of a human. One user said the following: "It is becoming increasingly evident that there is an unusual phenomenon occurring as we are encountering enigmatic beings almost regularly. This incident stands out as particularly noteworthy due to the availability of photographic evidence, which is not a common occurrence in such cases. This evidence adds a layer of intrigue and credibility to the incident, providing a rare insight into what the eyewitness encountered. Upon close examination, it is evident that the majority of the photographs are lacking in clarity. However, the specific one under discussion is notably sharp and well-defined. From this distinct image, it becomes apparent that there is a mysterious figure present characterized by a substantial head, standing in an imposing manner and observing the eyewitness. As of right now, I have minimal understanding of what this might entail, but I firmly believe that this marks a positive advancement. If one is asserting an encounter with something unusual, it is imperative to support the claim with concrete evidence, which is the correct and logical approach." End quote. Oddly enough, this isn't the first time that this has happened. Another location where mysterious beings have been witnessed is Peru, but what many are not aware of is that these sightings go way back. On the night of October 13, 2001, the town of Chulacanas in northwest Peru was the site of an unusual event as numerous residents observed the appearance of several peculiar orange-red spherical objects in the sky. This extraordinary phenomenon persisted for a duration exceeding 2 hours, during which the objects demonstrated the ability to autonomously alter their configurations and trajectory, prompting onlookers to suspect the presence of intentional navigation. At a certain juncture, the objects seemed to converge into a singular sizable entity, further adding to the enigmatic nature of the experience. Numerous individuals not only witnessed the events unfold, but several residents also succeeded in recording them on video, thereby presenting undeniable evidence of their authenticity and visibility to the public. This substantiates the fact that whatever transpired was indeed tangible and apparent to everyone. These occurrences were not only observed by many, but also documented visually by some members of the community, comprehensively establishing their actuality and making them perceptible to all. Approximately 2 weeks later, the peculiar luminous entities made a reappearance, exhibiting similar behavior as before, maneuvering through the night sky and rearranging themselves into various patterns. However, during this occurrence, some of them seemed to descend and alight in a field nearby, sparking curiosity and intrigue. This event had piqued the interest of the local community, leading to widespread discussion and speculation concerning the nature and origin of the objects. On the evening of November 15, 2001, numerous residents were present to observe the recurrence of the unusual phenomena for the third time, marking it as one of the most widely observed events. During this occurrence, a feeling of apprehension and alarm permeated the assembled crowd, evoking a strong sense of fear and panic among the onlookers. This event was deeply unsettling for the witnesses, causing a significant impact and leaving a lasting impression on those who experienced it firsthand. During his investigation of the incident, Dr. Anthony Choi noted a peculiar sense of awareness emanating from the unidentified object or any potential occupants within it. He described how, as witnesses attempted to approach the descended objects, the objects seemed to evade them by swiftly moving away. This unexpected behavior led to a fearful retreat by the onlookers as the object returned to its original position. These observations by Dr. Choi shed light on the unnerving and enigmatic nature of the encounter, highlighting a compelling sense of interaction and evasiveness displayed by the unidentified object. Ultimately, the unexplained nature of the lights and their potential origins continues to perplex researchers. Choi, in contrast, maintains a stance that allows for the possibility that these phenomena could be attributed to advanced non-human intelligence. This suggestion elicits contemplation regarding the potential involvement of entities beyond human comprehension. During his extensive investigation spanning 3 years, Choi thoroughly examined the sightings reported to the Peruvian Air Force, making a total of 17 visits to the region in question. His meticulous research led him to the conclusion that the majority of sightings were clustered in the Pinal Hill region, known for its extensive history of unusual incidents and unexplained phenomena. This area has been a hotbed of anomalous activity for a significant period, contributing to its reputation as a focal point for such occurrences. The mysterious reports date back centuries, if not millennia, encompassing a wide array of occurrences. These include sightings of peculiar diminutive humanoid beings that seemingly levitate on advanced apparatus, alongside incidents involving the unexplained vanishing of livestock and even individuals. Some of the missing persons returned with claims of only having been absent for a few hours, contrary to the actuality of their disappearance extending over multiple days. Spanning an area of about 300 square miles, there is a peculiar horseshoe-shaped patch of land devoid of any vegetation, an anomaly that has piqued curiosity. Delving into this fascinating speculation unveils a rich tapestry of possibilities, prompting contemplation on the potential intersection between terrestrial landscapes and extraterrestrial activity. Choi diligently engaged in extensive conversations with numerous eyewitnesses, delving into not only the reported sightings in Chulucanas, but also investigating various peculiar occurrences in the Pylon Hill vicinity. Through these in-depth interviews, it became evident that numerous military pilots had encountered these enigmatic phenomena over Pylon Hill. These accounts unveiled consistent descriptions of colossal, tangible craft emitting a radiant orange-red glow and a palpable surge of heat in their proximity. Additionally, it was revealed that these encounters were not isolated incidents, but rather constituted a recurring and perplexing occurrence in the area. During an interview, Choi was informed by a former Air Force officer who preferred to remain anonymous about a captivating incident that occurred in the late 1950s or early 1960s. In this peculiar event, a pilot was purportedly taken from his aircraft into one of these enigmatic objects. Subsequently, he was returned to his plane and executed a successful landing, following which he reported the encounter to his superiors. This account raises numerous questions and compels a deeper exploration into the strange occurrences experienced by individuals working in the Air Force during that era. An intriguing aspect, which was omitted from the official account of that specific flight, is the apparent prolonged duration of the flight, exceeding 2 hours, despite the aircraft carrying fuel adequate for only a 45-minute journey. This inexplicable discrepancy warrants further examination and raises profound questions regarding the events that transpired during the flight. Several years following this enigmatic incident, Peru's Air Force made a surprising announcement, declaring the establishment of an official UFO office with the purpose of thoroughly investigating the numerous sightings of peculiar aerial phenomena across the nation. This move indicated a deliberate step towards in-depth analysis and understanding of these occurrences, signifying a heightened level of commitment and seriousness in addressing the reported phenomena. In the quiet town of Santa Juana, Chile, nestled amidst rolling hills and pristine landscapes, an event occurred that would forever alter the lives of its residents and baffle the world at large. On a serene morning, a disc-shaped object landed on top of a hill along Ruta de la Madera, a road that meandered through the picturesque countryside. The actions of one man who stopped traffic to investigate this enigmatic occurrence would set in motion a series of events that would captivate locals and the imagination of people worldwide. It was a crisp and clear morning when the residents of Santa Juana awoke to a sight they could scarcely believe. On a hill overlooking Ruta de la Madera, a disc-shaped object, gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence, had touched down. Eyewitnesses described the object as hovering just above the ground, seemingly defying gravity. News of the unusual occurrence spread rapidly through the small town, and before long, a gathering of curious onlookers began to form along the road, their attention fixated on the mysterious object perched atop the hill. Among the bystanders was a man named Alejandro Reyes. As he observed the growing crowd and the increasing excitement, he couldn't shake the feeling that something strange was going on. It was at this point that people started to point at the object and question what it was. With unwavering resolve driven by a deep-seated sense of inquisitiveness and a genuine care for the welfare of his community, Alejandro made the conscious choice to take proactive action. He strongly advised other drivers to keep their composure, providing clear instructions to remain inside their vehicles and keep a safe distance from the uncommon occurrence taking place on the hillside. He emphasized the importance of maintaining a neutral demeanor and cautioned them to exercise caution and diligence in response to the mysterious object. According to a resident in the area, the object reportedly touched down on the hill within an hour, as they mentioned that they had passed by the same area just 30 minutes before in the opposite direction and had not noticed anything unusual at that time. One user submitted a detailed account of the event on social media. They said the following: "The sight was like something out of a science fiction movie. A surreal experience that has been etched into my memory forever. It was a crisp, cloudless morning, the sun just beginning to paint the sky, when I saw the disc-shaped object touch down on the summit of a hill that overlooked the winding Ruta de la Madera. The object gleamed with an otherworldly iridescence, casting a mesmerizing light that seemed to dance across its smooth, metallic surface. From my vantage point, the object appeared relatively large, roughly the size of a small car with a perfectly symmetrical saucer-like shape. Its edges were rounded, and it sat effortlessly on the hill, hovering just above the ground as though defying the very laws of gravity. The disc's metallic surface was unblemished, devoid of any visible seams, joints, or markings. It seemed to be crafted from a material that was unlike anything I had ever seen. The color, if one could call it that, was an enigmatic blend of silvery gray and iridescent hues. There was an inexplicable sense of tranquility in the air, as if the very atmosphere held its breath in awe of this enigmatic visitor, and it was a moment suspended in time, a convergence of the ordinary and the extraordinary, a testament to the boundless mysteries that the universe has yet to reveal. As I stood there, gazing in wonder and amazement at the disc-shaped object, I couldn't help but wonder about its origin and purpose. Everyone who saw the object was shocked, and the silence that enveloped the hill was broken only by the whispers of the wind and the distant of nature awakening to the dawn. Right now, we still question what landed on that hill and whether it will return. Many of us have no idea what unfolded that day, and I don't think we will ever get an answer." End quote. The arrival of the disc-shaped craft on Ruta de la Madera in Santa Juana continues to perplex onlookers, and due to the incident taking place in 2016, there are gaps in the available information. The mysterious nature of this event has left many bewildered and searching for answers. Some members of the community reported witnessing the object beginning to levitate above the hill before swiftly departing on the opposite side, rendering it invisible to the onlookers. Conversely, a separate group claimed that the authorities instructed individuals to evacuate the vicinity. These varied eyewitness accounts resulted in contrasting perspectives on the event. The incident has sparked a widespread discussion, with speculation and theories emerging as people strive to comprehend the unusual occurrence from different vantage points. Alejandro Reyes' choice to halt the flow of traffic and thoroughly examine the mysterious aircraft highlighted the extraordinary ability of regular individuals to face the unfamiliar and motivate others to follow suit. The occurrences that transpired on the slope continue to baffle investigators, serving as a compelling reminder of the enigmatic nature of unidentified flying objects. This enigma underscores the vast realm of the unexplored when it comes to these inexplicable aerial phenomena. Mountains, with their towering peaks and remote, pristine landscapes, have long been associated with awe-inspiring beauty and a sense of wonder. But throughout history, these majestic natural wonders have also been the backdrop for countless UFO sightings, stirring intrigue and sparking debates about the existence of extraterrestrial life and their interest in our planet. In various mountainous regions worldwide, there have been multiple accounts from reliable sources such as hikers, pilots, and mountaineers reporting the observation of unidentified flying objects over the course of several years. These testimonies, which defy conventional interpretations, have contributed to a substantial body of evidence suggesting the existence of such phenomena. One compelling account comes from a group of mountaineers scaling the Himalayas in Nepal. In the early hours of a cold morning, they observed a series of luminous orbs dancing above the peaks. These orbs displayed erratic flight patterns and incredible speeds, leaving the mountaineers in awe of the spectacle. Such sightings are not unique to the Himalayas. UFOs have been reported above mountain ranges in various countries, including the Rockies in the United States and the Andes in South America. The appearance of unidentified flying objects hovering above mountainous regions has sparked a wide array of theories and conjectures regarding their intentions and source. Numerous individuals propose that these observations serve as proof of highly sophisticated technology, potentially originating from extraterrestrial beings. UFOs are believed to operate in defiance of the principles of physics, executing maneuvers and attaining velocities that surpass the capabilities of human-engineered aircraft. This enigmatic phenomenon has led to extensive discussions and investigations, stirring curiosity about the prospect of life beyond Earth and the existence of advanced civilizations in the universe. Another hypothesis suggests that mountains might carry a specific importance for visitors from outer space. These natural formations, frequently located in remote and uninhabited areas, may offer optimal sites for observing, researching, or potentially engaging with our planet. The seclusion and remoteness of mountainous terrains could afford a feeling of seclusion for any extraterrestrial entities aiming to evade detection. Given the minimal human presence and limited access, these regions may serve as ideal vantage points for comprehensive analysis and observation of Earth. Moreover, there is a contention suggesting that mountains might harbor distinctive energy fields or magnetic characteristics that could potentially draw UFOs. It is well documented that the magnetic fields of the Earth tend to fluctuate significantly in regions characterized by steep elevations, and these fluctuations could conceivably pique the curiosity of sophisticated extraterrestrial societies aiming to exploit or comprehend these energies for their own purposes. Mountains have held a sacred place in the beliefs of numerous cultures, with many of them linking mountains to spiritual importance and connections to the celestial realm. The ancient Inca civilization, for instance, held the belief that mountains were either the dwelling places of divine beings or acted as gateways to the heavens. Exploring the intriguing notion of whether these spiritual convictions have any foundation in real encounters with extraterrestrial entities adds a layer of mystery and fascination to the enduring allure of these revered natural formations. In recent times, the occurrence of unidentified flying objects hovering over mountainous regions has garnered significant attention from the global scientific and research communities. The evolution of technology has played a pivotal role in facilitating a more methodical investigation of these sightings. With the aid of advanced cameras, radar systems, and sophisticated data analysis tools, scientists have been empowered to systematically capture and scrutinize UFO encounters with enhanced precision and efficacy. The Mount Adams Infrared Observatory in Washington State, USA is a significant undertaking that has garnered attention due to the multitude of reported UFO sightings in the vicinity of Mount Adams. Equipped with advanced technology such as infrared cameras, the research team at the observatory diligently records and analyzes these unexplained phenomena. Despite their extensive efforts, the intrinsic nature of these unidentified flying objects remains elusive, and conclusive explanations have proven challenging to ascertain. Nonetheless, the comprehensive research conducted at the observatory represents a valuable contribution to the in-depth scientific exploration of this intriguing phenomenon. Despite the abundance of first-hand testimonies, hypotheses, and scientific inquiries, the enigma surrounding UFO sightings above mountainous regions persists. This phenomenon continues to provoke profound questions regarding the existence of extraterrestrial life, their fascination with our planet, and the enigmatic facets of the universe. The enduring intrigue and curiosity it fuels underscore the enduring quest for understanding in this realm of exploration. The complexities associated with these sightings transcend mere terrestrial concerns, prompting a deeper contemplation of the enigmatic forces that may exist beyond our planet. As we ponder the enigmas concealed in the depths of the universe, it's crucial to acknowledge the potential significance of UFO sightings above mountains as more than random occurrences. These sightings could potentially serve as a link between our earthly realm and the limitless expanse of the cosmos, offering a poignant reminder of the marvels that await exploration and the enduring enigmas that continue to challenge our comprehension. Whether these encounters signify manifestations of advanced technological capabilities, extraterrestrial inquisitiveness, or something yet unexplored, they intriguingly remind us of the vastness of the universe and the multitude of marvels that await discovery by humanity.